For number 19, we have an equation here with some fraction exponents. And to help solve this problem, we want to raise both sides to another exponent. And the exponent we're going to choose is going to be the reciprocal of what the exponent is that we have here. So the reciprocal of 1 over 2 is 2 over 1. Or just the number 2. So we're going to raise both sides to the second power. The reciprocal of 1/2 is the number 2. And if you remember the rule of exponents, if you have an exponent and raise it to another exponent, you multiply those two exponents together. And that's why we chose the reciprocal, because 1/2 times 2 just equals 1, and so the exponent completely cancels out. Now on this side, we're raising the entire side to the second power, so you need to multiply this entire side by itself again. So square that entire side. So here I've written out the entire side squared, multiplied by itself again. So reduce this side down by using the FOIL method. So 3 times 3 is 9. And then 3 times this quantity. And then 3 times that quantity. And then the two last terms multiply then together. And essentially you're squaring those terms because you're multiplying the same term by itself. So again, if you're squaring the 1/2 power, that cancels out, and so you're just left with x minus 4. So now let's do some reducing. If you have 3 of this quantity plus 3 more, that gives you a total of 6. And now for the next step here, there's a minus 4 and a positive 9, so that just reduces to 5. 9 minus 4 is 5. So now continue to try to solve for x, subtract an x from both sides. You have 2x over here now. And now subtract 5 from both sides, you have a minus 4 over there. So now now that I've isolated this 1/2 exponent again, I'm going to do the same thing that I did earlier. I'm going to square both sides. And so on this side, I'm going to have to use the FOIL method once more to expand that all the way out. And over here, I'm going to square the entire side. So 6 squared is 36. And this quantity squared, that 1/2 exponent and the 2, that changes to an exponent of 1. And essentially cancels out, and you're just left with the x minus 4. So minus 8 gives you minus 16. Distribute this all the way through, and you get this value. And now, at this next step, I just wanted to get smaller numbers, and so I'm dividing everything by 4 on both sides. It's a common factor. I could have divided everything by 2 up here, to get smaller numbers. Anytime a number can divide every single term, you can go ahead and divide by that value to get smaller numbers to work with. So if I divide everything by 4, I get to here. And you don't have to do that step, but it just makes the number smaller and easier to work with. So now that I have these smaller values, I'm going to subtract 9x from both sides. Then I'm going to add 36 to both sides. And now I can either use the quadratic formula or just factor this down, and it factors to x minus 8, x minus 5. So the two x values that make this statement true are if x is a positive 8 or if x is a positive 5.